Hey guys, thanks for coming back to Invested. Taking a question here. What are things that you look at or consider when looking into buying a shopping center, retail? What others might not consider? Currently reviewing an OM. OM stands for Offering Memorandum for 150,000 square foot grocery anchor shopping center. Wondering if there's anything that seasoned investors look at that might not be obvious to others. It's really hard, seasoned investors, right? So I'm just going to talk about what you should be looking for, and hopefully within those items that, most seasoned investors who understand it. So, of course, when you're buying a 150,000 square foot grocery anchor, your main anchor tenant is going to be the grocery. So right now in the retail sector, grocery anchor is going to get it's the most resistant, right? Because we found out in COVID, those are going to be a lot more durable than any other type of retail. And because of the grocery anchor, there's a lot of foot traffic. So you're going to have a lot of different ancillary retail shops, such as Starbucks, CVS, a nail shop, massage, sandwich shop like Subway, Jersey Mike's, Mob Pizza, and all that good stuff. So you need to look at the dynamic mix of your tenants. Because your grocery anchor, you're going to know from the OM, they don't have annual escalation. It's going to be escalation every 5 years, probably 10%. And your inline spaces, when I say inline, those smaller shop spaces are going to have annual escalation of 2 to 3%. So you got to really kind of consider your NOI. So make sure you look at all these different retail tenants. And another thing is you have to look at is CCNRs or REAs or prohibited use. Because when you take on these retail centers, I would just give you an example. If we have Ross, and everyone likes Ross, they're a very good credit tenant. But because Ross is such a powerhouse, such as like Ulta Beauty or Petco or PetSmart, they're going to have prohibited use or something called the co-tenancy clauses. So what that means is currently in there, if you have Ross and if you have Ulta Beauty, and also if you have a Petco, if one of those tenants leave, now Ross may go under not paying you the base rent. They might pay you a percentage rent. So which you're going to have really minimized rent payment from them. So the only way you can get back them to normal is to refill that space with another national or regional tenant. And the language there is very important because national means you got to have over 500 location. That's how they're going to define it. Regional, I think it might be like 25 or 50. Don't quote me on that, but it should really define what national or regional tenant is. So now if you bring in, let's say, Charles's beauty shop to backfill Ulta, just because you backfilled it, Ross is not going to pay you the full rent again. They're still going to be at 5%. Or if they have prohibited provisions in there, that's going to disallow you to bring in another discount store such as Marshall or Dollar General. Even though they want to come in, you can't get that tenant because Ross is not going to allow you to do it. So those provisions are very important. So make sure you read these leases. You got to really read through the prohibited use as well as co-tenancy clauses in these type of power centers that have grocery. Second thing is you're going to be also looking at is your CCNR. So some of the outside parcels that's on its own pad, we call it parcel pads, such as like, Panda Express or, KFCs or those national tenants. Those parcels may not be owned by the grocery anchor. So that might be owned by different owners. So that means you have a CCNR. CCNR is very similar to like an HOA. So you're going to have rules and regulation that's what you're allowed to do, how the expenses for the whole campus is going to be spread out. In addition to that is there's still going to be prohibited use for the entire center. So even though you want to bring into a taco shop into your inline space, you may not be able to bring that in if you have Taco Bell because they're going to have a prohibited provision that's recorded on the CCNR. So those are something that you really want to look into as you kind of look at how to strategize your investment for that retail center. Hopefully that's helpful for you because everything else is pretty much what any investors will look at, right? Rent roll, your profit and loss statements, your security deposit, how long are the leases, options. Those are all typical things that I assume that most investors will look at. So I kind of talked about some of the legal things or a lot of risk profile that all investors should look at, but mostly seasoned investors will really kind of dive into those. If you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and add us comments. Thank you very much.